Yeah, now I see you.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
The better half of me, eh?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Arjen, lovely to see you again. It's been too long, and it's very nice to meet you, Robert. So, how has this year treated both of you so far?
Pretty well. Yeah, if I speak for myself, I think it's a real busy year, but also productive year, and with a lot of surprises. And till so far, I like this year, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, my year's been crazy. It was a bit too much. 3 projects, the live shows, of course, and then Plan 9, and then the Simons solo album. So that was, when I wasn't working on one project, I was working on the other. So it was like, I like it. I love it. That's what I want. Being busy.
Yeah,
but then, then suddenly all the projects were over, and suddenly it was like over, and I'm totally empty now. So at the moment, it's kind of crappy. But, luckily I can talk about the stuff now. So, and I'm proud of it all. So,
Well, I've been listening to this Plan 9 album for, I feel like, several months now. Mascot sends their promos out
cool.
early, and I just loved it from the first second. I just
Cool.
I come from this background of heavy metal, but before that, I was really into like country and rock and stuff like that. And I've been on such
That's
a
good.
revival for that kind of music. So this album just hit me right where I needed it when I
Cool.
needed it, and it's
So what's your favorite song?
it has to be Drunker Than Whiskey.
I know, for us too. Drunker Than Whiskey. It's a good choice. It's a
And-
good choice.
I don't even really drink that much, but just every time that riff kicks in, it's just so groovy.
You feel like drinking.
Oh
It's
man,
funky.
it's
When I hear
exactly.
it, I have to drink.
You kind of can't not sometimes. You just want that little sip of whiskey to go with.
Yeah. It
It's,
wasn't even called Drunker Than Whiskey, the original.
No.
My Baby Loves Me, I think. My Baby Loves Me. It's
Yeah.
what it's called originally. So.
Yeah, but it's like.
But then we bought in The Hague. We went to this American shop, and we bought a slang dictionary.
Yeah.
And that was perfect for us, the slang dictionary. So we were constantly looking up weird words and words for being drunk, and it had Drunker Than Whiskey. So that's how we came up with that one.
incredible.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. Let me see it a bit more to the other side. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Whoa. Did we both buy one, or I don't
Yeah,
have
I
mine
think so, but-
anymore?
And we also have this books,
Yeah, rhyming. Yeah.
because we really liked.
There was no internet, so you had to do with these books. And I know that being drunk had so many entries in the dictionary. It had like 16 pages, It just kept going on and on and on and on. But Drunker Than Whiskey just sounded funny. So
Yeah. And
I love
we needed the cool slang words, because otherwise it's like it has to be cool. So
Yeah.
that's the way we wrote our lyrics.
Well, so how did the stars align to just revive this old project after, what was it, 30 years or so?
more than 30 years, yeah. It was basically Robert was working on a solo album with totally different music, like pretty heavy. What I heard,
Yeah.
like Rainbow,
Yeah,
bit Dio-ish,
yeah.
and he was like, should we put one of our old songs on it? Maybe the record company will like it. So then I think I picked Anymore or Together. I don't know anymore.
I think I said one song. Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Like-
But it was
You
Or
don't
me,
know.
or
You don't
you.
know
That's what I
anymore,
know.
or you don't know anymore.
It's you or me.
Yeah. And anyways, it's my favorite song. At that time, it was my favorite song of what we had. And I was like, sure, man, I'll do it. You know, and let's involve the whole old band. So
Yeah.
all the old band members from 30 years ago, and that's cool. Let's do it all together. And it was so much fun that it was addictive. We were like, we got so many other songs. Let's do a few more. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is that the record company totally hated it. Actually, their exact words were, "How can such great musicians make such shitty music?"
Yeah. That was the first reaction.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny that now the whole album, the reactions are overwhelming.
Yeah,
And,
but it was a metal dude, he wanted like
yeah,
metal, and
but
this is not the
even
album. This album is nice to listen to. I don't make
yeah,
many albums that are nice to listen to. Like Ayreon, you really have to
yeah,
concentrate, and you have to like read the lyrics, and it's not something you play in the background when you're doing the dishes, but Plan 9 is, it's just nice to listen to.
it's
You can
headphone
put it in the
music.
car. Yeah, it's I like it.
This one's for in the car. Yeah, sure.
For definitely, it's a car
Yeah.
album.
So I got another ticket.
Yeah, high speed
Yeah,
trains.
yeah, I drive too fast.
Yeah,
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. I was listening to the promo, and of course, I'd been at the 01011001,
whatever.
the shows, and I was like, immediately when it was announced, I was like, yes, pre-order. And then it was also saying, oh, there's this other album, and I was like, damn, I already pre-ordered my other thing. And well, okay, I'll listen to this first. And then I listened, and I was just like, oh man, yes, just
Cool.
yes.
Yeah.
So if we rewind as far back as you guys have memories, do you remember meeting one another, and like, how did you learn about each other, and what were your first impressions, as best as you can remember?
I knew Arjen already. Of course, he was playing in a band called Bodine. Used to be one of my favorite bands. The best band Holland had for me. The first album was my most favorite, but the second album is a classic in metal, in heavy metal in Holland and I think Germany.
That was 81, I think, 1981.
Yeah. And I was a huge fan, and I've been to concerts already, when I was 15. And when I was about 23, because I was singing in a thrash metal band called
When you were
Vermillion.
15, didn't we meet in the dressing room once in
I've seen you.
Soeterboek?
No, I've seen
we
you
didn't
in
meet. Okay.
in Gouda.
Out of Gouda, yeah.
Over the brug.
But we met in the dressing room, or not?
I think so, but
And I kicked you out. No.
No. In that time, I was singing in a thrash metal band called Vulture. Made one album, and I was always feeling like, hey, I'm more into the melodic stuff and the old-fashioned rock music, So I went the other way, and suddenly the drummer of Odin did call me when I was about 19 or something, or 20, I don't know, and he asked me to join him in the practice room, and so I was like, holy cow, what's this? That's the drummer for Bodine, Gerard Heidsma. Yeah, sure. So we did rehearse, and then one day we had a tryout in the city of The Hague, in a venue. And Arjen used to live in The Hague, and of course he came over to watch the old band and what it was now. So, and that's the way we got really in contact. And
Yeah, I
there.
mean, I saw him on stage and he looked good, and he had that big voice, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know that, a good singer like this is living here in our little country because we didn't have many good singers.
In the time.
Um, so I thought, well, most singers were assholes. I thought this guy's probably an asshole too. You just look at him. He was standing there, with his. And so I talked to him, and actually we immediately gelled. Immediately we had the same cheesy sense of humor and stuff like that. And talking about music, we found out that we like the same shit. We like Lynyrd Skynyrd and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, good singers, I grabbed them immediately. They're mine, and I was like, shall we write some songs together and see what happens? So yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I know, Arjen, you've seen this Plan 9 movie, but Robert, have you seen it as well?
Me? No. I don't have the patience to watch movies.
And especially that movie.
No, I don't have
It requires
patience.
a lot of patience.
Oh yes, it's so bad that it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Robert. I've seen this movie. It's so bad, Don't watch it, but the title is cool. Shall we call ourselves Plan 9 from Outer Space? And then Robert was like, "Nah, that's too long. Let's just keep Plan 9."
I had to think about a joke just because we talked about it because the name was too long. And I used to sit with old friends around the table and we talked about a new band name. And I think Ed Warby was with us too. We had a band. Yeah, how should we call it? Yeah. Well, then somebody said 2 buckets of shit, one on the table and one on the floor. And then I said again, it's too long.
Okay.
But it reminds me of Plan 9 from Outer Space because it was too long as well.
And of course, it wasn't space music, so.
No.
It might give the impression that it's going to sound a lot more like Ayreon than it ended up not at all sounding like Ayreon.
True. Yeah. No, nothing spacey about it.
Well, you've mentioned that there are some plans for shows coming up, so can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, they're coming in now. No.
I'll be there, but at a safe distance.
No, we discussed it before, we make this album and I know Arjen for a long time. And I know the way he thinks, I know the way he feels. And so I had to ask him, of course, because when I'm not asking him, but I know he don't like to be on, he don't like to play guitar live anymore. So
well, I can't, it's not in my system anymore. I would totally fuck up on stage.
Yeah.
Really, I tried it with Ayreon, but if you don't do that each day, you play guitar each day and you perform like every year, then you can do it. But no.
Yeah. So I told him, shall I do it? The record company asked, is there a release party coming, a release show? And then I said yes, and I thought, now I have to do something. But went easy. But Arjen and I discussed it, and Arjen said, you should play live. So from now I will fix it. I will fix the job and make Plan 9. Going on the road. And actually, we got about 7 shows now. I just got 2 in today. We had already 5, and so I need 2 more, so we have 9. But we're gonna play live, and everybody's excited, and it will be fun.
Are there any plans to come outside of the Netherlands?
For me, yeah. But we are we got a big band, 8 people, and most of the people are like, yeah, let's do it. But we also got backing singers, and for instance, Irene has 2 young kids, and she's a real mom. And for her, her kids are most important in her life, and that's normal, of course. But she liked to, but so I have to take it easy and arrange it very good if we want to do some shows in other countries. But will be the wait until we know if Irene or the other girl singer is supposed to come.
Speaking of the just generally the whole band, like I love this overall soundscape that it's really guitar and vocal driven, but the backing vocals reminded me of those like old classic songs from like the Rolling Stones, like Gimme Shelter or stuff like that. And so I was curious, like, was that always the vision for Plan 9 to have all these like great backing singers and stuff, or has the overall thing changed a lot?
No, I really I really liked backing singers. I really like girl singers and I think Arjen as well, because that was our idea to have backing singers on stage.
I think we heard Leonard Skinner's album. Was it 1991 or something?
Yeah.
And it was like, what was the first song? Yeah, you.
Smokestack Lightning.
Smokestack Lightning, and it had female backing singers, and we were like, yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah. So we did.
But was it the idea from the beginning? I don't remember that.
I think so, because
I think so. I think it works well with Robert's voice. You know, he's got this big, warm voice. To have like on top of that, to have those high female voice, it just works.
Yeah, and so we first recorded with studio singers. In Hilversum, and two black girls. And it was like they were the first singers and singing, and they're now famous Dutch backing singers.
They were amazing.
They are amazing, and it was a long way back that they sang with us, you know. And then we had Miriam and Debbie, I think.
Yeah. Miriam is the wife of the bass player Peter Vink, who played on all the first Ayreon albums. And Miriam and Debbie also sang backing vocals on the first Ayreon album.
Yeah. So
the circle is round.
And we used to have the backing singers now with live shows from Star One back in the day, you know, with Irene and Floor, and they were always there, the backing singers. Basically. Yeah. So we are also used to backing singers, actually.
Yeah. And for this album, it was. I think Irene was clear from the beginning. I don't think that was much of a discussion. We need powerful, really power. And of course, Irene is a powerhouse, you know. So she did all those backing vocals on her own. She's so easy to work with, you know. She comes here to my studio and we didn't. I didn't even send her the songs. She just came over and we'll see what we'll do, you know. So it was great working with her. And Robert was present, you know, a couple of times when we recorded backing vocals. So.
Yeah, and the band, our band has always been good, and that's important as well.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Talking about the songs, you've just been kind of hitting me at just the right moment, because I was recently watching something that had a snake oil salesman in it, and I've had kind of a recurrence in that, and I was so Dr. Robert's Medicine Show gives me all these really fun visuals in my head, and I was wondering, does that make Arjen the guy in the crowd who's like working for the guy on stage? Or who are you at the snake oil show?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the customers because they're all pretty girls. Right? Dr. Robert only helps the pretty girls, yeah. Who am I in this scenario? I don't know. I'm the mule, probably.
I don't know anymore. What was your role? I don't know.
I'm a huge westerns fan. It's my favorite genre, especially all the Clint Eastwood stuff. Sergio Leone and Clint Eastwood. It's like amazing. That's and of course later on Quentin Tarantino. I also like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that western theme. I love that we put it in this album. In the front cover and in the lyrics and in the live shows.
Yeah, and really like it, and especially that we got the southern rock style within it. I'm a big southern rock fan, and so for me it's like, finally.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, me as well. I love all the Leonard Skinner and Marshall Tucker Band, Allman Brothers, and that sort of stuff. So this is another one of those albums that I'm like, I need to buy this and send this to my dad back in Canada because he was the one who got me into all this music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, do it.
I just got a message from mother-in-law from Paul Menzie. He's a singer from the Suite, and she bought our album. And she
cool.
really likes it. Yeah.
Parents like it. Parents are my age, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Well, and as we were talking about before, Anymore, I just love it because I love a good wordplay, and I'm always curious, when there's a song that's got someone's name in it, I'm always curious about the name. And then, of course, I hear the song
too.
And I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. Very good.
Gotcha.
So, do you guys remember whose idea that was back in the day?
I think Arjen's.
I think so. And how I came up with it, I have no idea. I think we
had the word anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to see your face here anymore. I didn't think about anymore yet at that point. And so I don't know. It could have been Robert too. I don't know. Suddenly we realized, that could be.
I don't know. Yeah. But we always play with words, We always make jokes, and so that way we come up with the stupidest things, or the funniest things. So. It's like a disease.
I love it. Well, there's kind of two songs that stand out as being maybe a little bit different from the norm to me, and Ice on Fire, which has kind of a bit more synthwave vibe. And Long Cold Night was then the other one, because again, I grew up in country music, Alberta, Canada, so my dad liked his southern rock and his country music. So again, haven't heard steel guitar in anything European probably ever before. So tell me a little bit about that one.
I think it did. Of course, we didn't have the pedal steel yet in the old days. I mean, we couldn't afford it. I think it was just a slide guitar. I think it was more based on Led Zeppelin, It was a little bit of a Led Zeppelin.
Ring Stump or something.
Huh? Oh yeah. Well, they had a bit of that country feel, They always had the mandolin and stuff like that. So I think that for me, that's where that song comes from. But at some point, Robert said, "I got a friend and he plays pedal steel," and I was like, "What? Do it!" And the guy turned out to be really good. So when I got the tracks and I put them in, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." Yeah. So and then we really worked on the lyrics. We really changed the lyrics a lot, made it a lot funnier and stuff like that. And actually, it turned out to be one of my favorite songs on there. And what was the other one? Oh, Ice on Fire. Yeah, we were just trying to make a hit, I guess. I've never had any hits in my life, and I was like, let's have a go at it, And those were the days of Van Halen with Jump and songs like that.
It was without the synthesizers, of course.
Yeah.
We just had, I don't know. We just had the chorus, I think.
Hammond, something like that. Yeah.
And then I thought, well, we should have put synthesizers to it.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Arjen tried it, and he said, "Well, this works."
Yeah.
You know, you have to try.
I tried to get the jump sound of Van Halen in there.
Yeah. And we always try. If it's nothing, we throw it away. But we never say, no, we're not going to do that. When somebody has an idea, we try it. If it's nothing, then... But most of the time, it's okay what we do.
But that wasn't even your
It's really
first
funny,
single,
actually. No, I just wanted to say we released two singles. And, the first single, Before the Morning Comes, is not a hit at all. It's a very sensitive and a very sad blues song, basically. And in the end, that became a bigger hit than Ice on Fire. It has how many views now? 130,000 views or something.
I don't know.
It's doing really well. It's for me. It's definitely the best song on the album. The way Robert sang it, and I remember he was really, really ill that day. He was like, I don't think I will come, because I'm really sick. And yeah, man, we're doing a blues about a guy who wants to kill himself. So, come over. And I think that made the song a lot better.
Yeah.
And also really like the video clip of that one. Because I never like video clips, it's always like there's something wrong. But that it's cool. The venue was cool, and we came up with the whole story on the spot,
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. I mean, what's happening in the story? I have no idea, but it looks cool. So
No, it's just somebody's walking in and
singing with
singing
the
the
band,
song.
and the audience is like really bored, like
Yeah. We all used old friends. We did the songs 30 years ago, 34 years, and I invited all people I knew from 30 years ago. So I suddenly invited them, and then I see them again. And because they grew older as well, and you can, you see all the older faces in the crowd, and that's cool. That's cool.
Awesome. Well, I spent a good chunk of last year playing this really highly acclaimed video game called Disco Elysium, which is about a man with amnesia and severe alcoholism solving a murder mystery while kind of also solving the mystery of how his life got messed up. And the last two songs, with Drunker Than Whiskey and Die With Your Shades On, really genuinely made me feel like they were written about this character. I was curious, like, what they were actually about.
Well, it's funny with Shades, because we just had the title, You're Gonna Die With Your Shades On. It just sounded cool, but we had no idea what it meant. So at first we thought, you're gonna die with your shades on, you're gonna die and like be really cool. So that was like the positive part of the title. But then we tried that and it didn't work at all, because it's kind of like a sad song. And then we thought like, no, let's keep it dark. And this guy wears shades because he only sees the dark side of life. And I don't know if you saw the comic book. It kind of spoils of how it ends. He's on his bike and he flies into a ravine, kind of like a Thelma and Louise style. So and that's basically why we decided that's the last song of the album. The guy kills himself, story is over. So yeah, not a happy song.
And yet so cool.
Yeah. It's
funny. We were always laughing. We always had fun, and we were never unhappy, basically. But I guess if you do blues stuff, you're gonna end up with dark stuff.
We all have some parts in our lives that you can rely on writing lyrics. Looking back, but I'm always a happy man.
Yeah.
I hear that's kind of common, that a lot of the people who write like the most miserable songs are the happiest people, and the people who write the happiest songs are the most miserable people.
It's true. I mean, Bon Jovi makes me very depressed, and listen to Black Sabbath, and I get all happy. So it's a
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
contrast.
Yeah.
No, I don't really much like happy songs or hits or whatever. That's probably why I was never able to write one myself. Maybe I don't know. But maybe
No.
it's just a way of evening it out. That's probably it.
You certainly scared the hell out of me because I remember listening to March of the Machines for the first time and just having a little like moment of existential panic and dread.
I know, and it's so weird. Like the 01 story is such a sad story, and it's about the end of the world. And here we are on stage. High five!
Still
Yeah,
alive.
cool.
Yeah.
It's a total contrast. It doesn't make sense at all. Everyone is having fun on stage and laughing and joking around while singing the most terrible lyrics about the end of the world. But there you go. As I said, I like contrasts.
Well, speaking of Ayreon shows, I'm so sorry to say I'm not that familiar with Dutch music, but this is where I learned about Robert for the first time and genuinely mind blown by all of these performances, but just all these wonderful voices and everything. So, do you have any fun memories or weird stories from those Ayreon Universe shows back in what was that now? 20?
Uh,
Gosh, I don't remember. 17, I want to say.
yeah. Things. Let me think.
Aaron, you did Songs of the Ocean, right? I'm totally lost with all the.
Arjen Universe was.
So for which one did you do Songs of the Ocean? Was it
that
the
was
Electric Castle
and other
shows?
tales.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
He was. Oh yeah, he was Abbey of Sin. Computerized, I think. Or is it? Oh yeah. And Castle Hall, I guess.
Yeah, because Jan van Vechelen did Amazing Slide. But funny stories, I don't
But the
know.
funny stories. Let me see, who was there? Let me see who was.
Castle Hall would have been with Damian Wilson, I think. Abbey of Sin, you were on your own.
Yeah.
What I can remember is we always have fun, and we're like a family. Because most of the people already know each other for a long time. Even the other singers, like Tommy, and it's always good to see each other, and we take care of each other. That's what happened backstage, and fun. Everybody's so serious.
Yeah, because it's scary, The singers only get one day of rehearsal. I mean, the band rehearses for half a year, Every month we come together, but the singers are all, they come from abroad, so we can't rehearse with them. So if our first show is Friday, then Thursday is the only rehearsal the singers get. So yeah, everyone is on edge, and everyone is serious, and everyone is trying to do his best, of course. So and also during the shows, normally you have a routine. You know the songs, you just go on stage, but there's no routine, which is on the one side it's good, because it's gonna be very spontaneous. But on the other side, it's scary, these singers never performed these songs live. So, and remembering all the lyrics and stuff like that. And of course, backstage on Ayreon shows, it's like, it's not like joking and when the show's over, it is. But everyone has to be very concentrated because singers go on and off and on and off, and we have one guy on one side of the stage and one guy on the other side of the stage who exactly tells people, you go on in 2 seconds, 2, 1, go on, and then you go off again, and you go up on the stage and the middle stage, and so it's very concentrated.
And we don't see the show at all.
No.
Because And well, what I can remember from the last time there was Arjen of Other Tales, or
and other tales. Sorry, I'm the nerd here who knows all the songs.
Electric Castle. Yeah, there was Electric Castle and Other Tales. But we all had these costumes, you know. Everybody.
I remember Robert had his astronaut costume for
Yeah.
and all the time when I would go behind the stage, he was like, he had the very last song, you know, and it was 2.5 hours of music. So he had to wait there for 2.5 hours, and he was just sitting there in his astronaut costume, and I had to laugh every time
Yeah.
I saw it.
But we all, you know, Edward was sitting in his, I don't know, King Artist.
Yeah, and I told everyone, really, you don't have to dress up. Really, you know, it's not necessary. I can't, you know, I can't ask that of you, that you dress up like a knight, you know, with an armor and shit like that. And lo and behold, the rehearsal started, and I felt a tap on my back. I turned around, and there was Damian, you know, with a sword and a harness. And I was like, no, you didn't, you know.
And we all were sitting next to each other, all dressed up. And then Fish, he had a long Scottish jacket on. And then he came off stage, and we were all sitting, and he was standing like this. Like he's standing in the bus, and we were sitting all there. And I had the idea, well, let's go on a bus all together, you know. Just take a ride with a bus in the city of Tilburg, you know, and say nothing, just buy a ticket. Well, that was too funny.
Yeah.
I heard word on the street. I don't think I was at the final show, but I heard that Damian was doing the crowd surf in his full plate mail.
Of course, because he's not allowed, so he will do it. Don't tell Damian, don't do that, because he'll do it. I remember at the Star One shows, remember, Robert, when we played in 013, and you weren't allowed to go on the roof where all the lights were. And people told it, you know, and Damian climbed all the way up, all the way on top where the lights were. And
no, that wasn't Bogenmakking.
No, that was 013. Well, it was everywhere, basically.
Yeah. and Russell and I were like, hey, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And suddenly we jumped into the crowd as well, you know. We walk all through the crowds. And, that's what we did. But now we don't do it anymore.
But crowd surfing is not allowed. I think the venue doesn't allow you or something.
Oh, something happened.
But yeah, don't tell Damian, because he'll do it anyway.
Yeah, now we go to the dressing room and Damian is still crowd surfing.
Yeah.
That's how he gets outside. He goes out through the back door and just into the people who are waiting outside, and that's how everyone gets pictures with him afterwards.
I know, and even not even after, also before, you know, when the lines are there, he's just going past the line and saying hi to everyone and taking photos and maybe even playing. I don't know. Yeah, crazy guy.
I have no idea if either of you know this, but the Ayreon fan club on Facebook, I think after the last shows, so many people, like, he must have taken like 3,000 pictures of people or something like that, and everyone was just talking about, like, what a nice guy Damian Wilson is. He comes out, he takes pictures with everyone, and he got to the point where, like, nice guy Damian became a meme in that Facebook group for a month or two. It was starting to drive people bananas after a while. They were like, oh my God, stop with the Damian Wilson memes.
Yeah. Okay, funny.
Well, in the beginning, when was it? Because when we go back to Plan 9, we used Damian for the songs to sing backing vocals. Remember, we used some lyrics before for a German band that was in 1999. 1999 was it when we recorded that. And Damian was doing the backing vocals, I remember. We picked him up in Rotterdam. And he was a real young guy in the days.
Yeah.
Me also, still.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 013 venue, I was kind of curious because these Ayreon shows are so popular. Like, have you considered either just doing more shows over a longer, like a whole week or something, or even like moving to a bigger venue just to accommodate how popular they are and how many people want to come?
Well, the problem with doing a whole week is that the singers are so busy. You know, they all have their own bands, so you have to book them like 2 years in advance. And of course, these singers have to tell their bands, "Hey, sorry, we can't play live," you know, in those weeks. And the bands won't like that. So if a singer says, "Hey, I will be gone all week," you know, and you can't book any shows, it's just too hard to book singers for such a long time. Um, Also, you know, playing for a week and playing shows every day, or maybe even 2 shows a day, is just too much. Because now we had 6 shows in a row, 2 shows a day, and of course, can you imagine for a drummer, you know, for Ed, it's pretty heavy on him. And basically, yeah, we could of course go to a bigger venue, but I like that it's intimate, you know. I like when I'm on stage that I see all the faces, and it just works, you know. It just works, and we have a very good friendship with the whole 013, with the director there, with the people who work there, and you just come there, and it's like a warm bed, you know. They help you, um, so yeah, I'm a bit afraid to change that, and I think it might lose its magic.
Mm.
And also, like I said, you know, why change a winning team if it works? And yeah,
And a
that,
bigger venue is also business. You know, for a bigger
it's
venue,
business.
it's
It's
business,
a
and it
lot
doesn't matter
colder.
who you are or
No, no, and you have to rent
make.
everything. You know, they don't have
Yeah,
sound, they don't have lights. You have to rent everything, and 013
Mm.
has everything.
yeah.
And yeah, I guess I want to keep that family feeling that I think it shows on stage, you know, that everyone is having a good time. You can see it on the faces, and I'm afraid to lose that intimacy, I guess.
Mm. Oh, understandable. And I
Yeah.
think that's quite commendable because a lot of people might just, take the stadium and make $1 million off of ticket sales or whatever, but then you do really lose something when you don't have that, like, at least some degree of intimacy with the crowd.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. And I always look, I always plan ahead, you know. And I'm just thinking this is good for Arion. And I don't know if you go to this big venue, what are you going to do afterwards, and will it work, or I don't know. It's no, it works. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I'm almost at the end of my questions, and I'll just throw one in here because you've mentioned that you've been working on Simone Simon's solo album. So, just real quickly, how did that project get started, and how did you become part of it?
Well, she's been asking me. She's a big Arion fan. You know, when she was 15 years old, she was like listening to Arion, and it's hard for me to think about that. And I think the song "Dreamtime" is her favorite song ever. And I remember as a little girl, she once came to me and like together with Mark Janssen, the guitar player of Epica. We are such huge fans of your music. Like, oh, you're in the band too, you know. And meanwhile, you know, Epica is way bigger than Arion. So, but yeah, she's been coming to me for the last 5 years or something, asking me to do a solo album with her. But I was just too busy. I couldn't do it because I didn't want to do it fast. You know, if I do a solo album with Simone, it has to be good, and I have to take my time. Um, and then, you know, we work on the Arion show. We were working on Plan 9, and of course, I didn't have to write songs for Plan 9. The songs were already there, and I just had to arrange them. And I worked together with Robert. You know, he did his stuff, so I had time to work on Simone's stuff. So yeah, we just had a couple of Skype calls, Zoom calls together. Um, like, what direction are we going to go? Which other music do we like, and where are we going to go with the lyrics? And we agreed on everything. So I came up with the first song, which was pretty heavy. It was we both liked Rammstein and stuff like that. So and we both like melody, so we wanted to make a combination of that, and that worked. So yeah, we worked on it together for a year. Yeah, very proud of it. The first single came out, and so far it's a big success. So hope it's a start of something beautiful for her.
Oh, wonderful. Well, to wrap this up then, I don't really like the final words question, so I'd rather ask if you guys could make the world a better place by sharing one lesson that you've learned along the way, what do you think that might be?
Well, be it's such a cliche, but be good to the people around you. You know, I've done that all my life. I've always been good to everyone except the assholes. You know, I won't be nice to them, and I don't need them. But the good people around you, cherish them. You know, like I met Joost. You know, and he was just this little 19-year-old guy, very insecure. But I welcomed him. You know, and I saw a good guy in him, and I've always been good to him. And now he arranges all these live shows. You know, and just one day these people, it will come back to you. You know, the love you gave.
Yeah.
And really, I know Robert is the same. That's why I say it. Be good to the people around you always, you know. Because it will get you very far in life.
Yeah, that's true. It's really true. I'm not religious, but be good to people around you. And you know, I like to help other people, you know. I like to help young musicians and other colleague musicians, you know. If I do something that's cool, then I want to let them feel it too, you know, because you cannot enjoy it on your own.
No,
you know,
and don't do it for the money. You know, that's the worst thing you can do, because it won't work out. Even if it works out, you're not going to be a happy person, you know. I never started Ayreon for the money. I just started Ayreon because I thought, like, okay, man, no, everyone's going to hate it, but I want to do it. It's my lifelong dream to make a rock opera. And then it worked.
Yeah.
You know, then it worked.
Yeah, it's true.
As soon as I invite a singer and he's like, well, you better, one of the singers, I'm not going to say who, maybe Robert knows, said, you better have a big wallet. That's what he said, if you want me to sing on your album. And I was like, fuck you, mate. No matter how big you are. He was in one of the biggest bands of the world at that point. But I was like, forget it, man. It's not going to work.
And you know, I work with musicians and famous Dutch musicians, not in the rock music, but doing other things as well, who normally get paid 10,000 euros for 1 hour, and they do it for me for way less, because they like it. You know, they like, and that's some things you have to do because you like it. They say, you know, and that when you're nice to people, then that happens.
No, it seems like a cliche, you know, but it's I've met some people who were not cool, you know, and I think Robert also knows who I'm talking about. You know, as well as I'm saying, be good to people you like, filter the people you don't like, you know, filter them. Don't look up to them, or don't try to please them, or you know, filter them out of your life, because there's gonna be the rotten apple, you know, and you don't want that.
I had it a long time ago. It was after Plan 9, and I was starting my own band, and I wrote a song, Some Fools, and I told, what did I say? When there are nice people, I'm nice, and when there are assholes, I'm an asshole. And you know, I'm an asshole to assholes, and I'm nice. I'm a nice guy to nice people.
And Robert can be a heavy dude. Here comes the same story again, Robert. We were playing with Vengeance, and we had a support act, and they said something that, I don't know, it wasn't very appropriate. Robert went to this guy backstage. What did you say? You know, did you insult vengeance or whatever? And the guy was like, whoa, and Robert just won. And the guy went down.
Yeah, I'm not that way anymore. No. But no, and I know the guy, still know the guy, and for many years he was angry for me, and I said, "What's wrong? I didn't even hit you correct, you know." I told him, and now he played already 20 shows with me. I book him some shows, you know. That's the way it goes. And we were younger.
I mean, we had to learn, you know. We were not the way we are now back 30 years ago, you know. We did some pretty bad shit.
Yeah, but I'm a guy who if somebody got 10 euros from me, doesn't matter where he lives, I go get it. You know, if he has to pay me and he don't pay, I go and get it. That's what I do. For the rest, I'm just an easy guy. But I'm not. I go for my goal, you know, and you have to be hard sometimes this business.
In that case, are you coming to get this?
Yeah, I forgot it. Now I got this.
I stole his phone charger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you got it dark.
Yeah.
So, we're easy guys, you know, and I love everybody, and everybody loves me around me, you know. They know how I am, and you know, and I give my the less money I got to my friends, you know, if they need it, you know. And I do. Now I got nothing.
Robin
and they won't give it back.
We had nothing in those planned 9 days. We had nothing. We had a little room of 2 by 3 meters and a mattress and a tape recorder, and that was it.
And here you are today.
Sorry?
And here you are today.
Yeah. I'm starting to sound like Monty Python. I don't know how if you know that sketch. Like, we were so poor, you know. We lived in the middle of the lake, and it's these rich guys, you know, with the big pipes, you know, talking about how bad they were, and it gets worse and worse and worse. Anyway,
I was poor. I was living in a house you remember my house in Rotterdam?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was the poorest neighborhood in the city. And I was living there. Yeah. And I was the poorest of the poor people living there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it goes to show that being nice to people will get you somewhere then.
That's it.
That's and hard work, you know. Work hard and be nice to everybody around you and
keep your promises.
Yeah.
If I can't handle anything, it's like people not keeping their promises, and you know. Just I won't get into detail, but just today this happened again to me, and it's like. Makes me furious.
Now I feel very guilty about giving you the wrong day for the interview.
Sorry, that wasn't it. I shouldn't have said that. I should have seen that one coming.
I feel the same.
Well, we didn't care. We had. We actually talked for half an hour, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the way? What are we doing?
We're gonna do this with the station.
Oh, yeah. Oh, was it the interview?
Yeah. So we had a nice time, Amy. So don't worry about it.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it. It was great talking to you both.
Okay. Sorry about shit. I'm gonna bye.